General McChrystal, the American and Allied commander of all forces in Afghanistan, recently sent to the President a request for more troops, and that generated a great deal of discussion in Washington. How many troops to send, what their mission would be. General McChrystal had requested a range from about 5,600 troops all the way up to 80,000. The discussions generally were greeted as favorable, although there were certain segments in the political sector, as well as in the American community, that simply said the President should give the general anything he wants. He is the commanding general, he's on the ground, he knows what his mission is and what he needs to accomplish the mission, and the President should just give him whatever he requests. The problem with that, although it sounds good and for the most part was well intended, is that it undermines a cardinal principle of American constitutional law and constitutional history, and that is civilian control of the military. This principle goes all the way back to colonial times when militias were under the control of colonial governors. Since then, there has not been any deviation from this principle of civilian control of the military. In fact, in notable times in history, presidents have overridden their military commanders, and almost always for the better. Lincoln consistently overruled some of his military commanders, ultimately firing 6 commanding generals before he decided on Ulysses S. Grant in 1863. President Roosevelt overrode Generals Marshall and Eisenhower when they advocated a cross-channel invasion of Europe for 1943. Roosevelt overrode them, insisted that we go along with Churchill, have an invasion of North Africa first, ultimately then up through the Italian peninsula, and a cross-channel invasion in 1944, which was successful. History shows that that probably would not have been successful in 1943. And of course, President Truman fired General MacArthur over Korea in 1951 when General MacArthur went public with his disagreements over policy with President Truman. So this principle of civilian control of the military is embedded in our history, it's embedded in our Constitution, it's embedded in the ethics of our American military society, and President Obama continued that tradition in giving full discussion to General McChrystal's request for troops for Afghanistan.